Hey, I'm a mechanical engineer, and this is my Christmas light stick. Since Thanksgiving is upon us and everyone seems like to put out Christmas lights on Thanksgiving Day, I thought this would be the perfect time to introduce my Christmas light grabbing stick. This grabbing stick is a little over 5 feet long with a trigger on one end and the grabbing beak on the other. And the idea behind this is to help you hang lights in high places where you'd otherwise be using a ladder. However, this is not supposed to completely replace the ladder, but add to it. More on that later on. For now, let's get started on how to build it. The first thing we're going to need is a 3/4 inch PVC pipe that is at least 5 feet long. So the first thing we're going to want to do is cut a 5-inch long line 3 inches down from one of the ends of the pipe. We only want to cut this line on this side of the pipe, and we want to cut it just wide enough to where a screw can comfortably fit in. There's a few different ways we could cut this out, but one of the more relaxed ways is to just take a drill and drill several small holes along the line. Just like this. Now we're going to want to cut another line on the same top side of the pipe, but on the other end. We're going to want this one to be only 1.5 inches long and 1/2 inch from the end. And unlike the other one, we're going to want this one to be wide enough to fit an ink pen into. Just like these. Next, I'm going to cut out 5 Lexan pieces. 4 of them will be 4 inches long, and then the one in the middle will be 3 inches long. And I'm going to glue these pieces together like this, so that they're one solid piece with a small crack in the center of one side. Now I'm going to cut slight curves at both top corners, the curve on the side of the gap being a little bit more severe, and then round off the edges. We're now going to want to cut a slot out of the top of our PVC pipe just wide enough to fit our Lexan piece. We're going to want the front of the slot to be centered with the 5-inch channel we previously cut, and we're going to want the back of the slot to be about 1.5 inches deep, whereas the front is only 1 inch, as you can see here. Now we'll slide our Lexan piece slot facing back into the groove we just cut, drill through the center of both the pipe and the Lexan, and then slide in one of these hinge pin screw combinations to hold it in place. After that, we're now going to want to make a second Lexan piece to sit underneath the front of the first one. That way the two pieces will work together almost like a bird's beak. To do this, I cut out 5 2-inch square Lexan pieces, and I'm going to glue them together on top of the pipe, but not to the pipe. This way, once all the pieces dry, the inside joints will have the same curvature as the pipe itself. We can now set this in place, mark from the bottom corner to the front of the beak, cut it out, then glue it in place. Next, I'm going to take a 1/2 inch pipe that fits comfortably inside our first pipe, cut it down so that it's the same length as the top of this channel is from the top of the other channel. Then drill a hole as far down to one side as you possibly can, making it just large enough to snugly fit the tube from an old ink pen. We can now slide this pipe into our main one, slide our ink pen casing through our second track into the hole in the tube we just drilled, then glue the ink pen casing and 1/2 inch pipe together. If you haven't already guessed, this little tube is what's going to serve as our trigger, but more on that later on. For now, let's go ahead and build the handle because it's very difficult to use a trigger if there's nothing to hold on to. The handle is very simple. All it is a 45-degree elbow, a cup link, and an end cap. So after I pop in 2 small PVC pipe pieces into the joints and glue it all together, we can then glue and slide on the end of our pipe, making sure it matches up straight with our trigger. Just like that. Everything feels good in my hand, but the trigger seems needlessly long, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Much better. Now, although this is not finished just yet, the main body is complete, which means now is the perfect time to paint it. Here we are after the paint job, and everything looks really good. Next, I'm going to take a scrap 1/2 inch pipe piece that we have left over from the inside pipe and cut it down to 3.5 inches. Then after I pull the trigger all the way back, I'm going to drop our 3.5 inch piece into our 5-inch slot, slide it to the very bottom of the slot, then loosely screw the 1/2 inch piece that's on the outside into the 1/2 inch piece that's on the inside, so that it can very easily glide across the track. Next, I'm going to drill a hole in the top of our 1/2 inch piece and Lexan piece. Then close the beak, slide the 1/2 inch all the way to the bottom of the track, and connect them together on both sides with 2 aluminum strips. Lastly, I'm going to open up the beak and mount an extension spring into the crack we built in the back of the beak's head. Then extend the spring just a little bit and mount the other end into the main body of the pole. And with that, our Christmas light stick is now complete. Something that's great about the grabber is the beak has a nice firm grip, so you can easily pick up any light strand and put it wherever you want to go. And since this pole is over 5 feet long, it has quite an impressive reach. Now, as I said towards the beginning of the video, this is not supposed to completely replace the ladder. This pole by itself can easily reach the roof on a 1-story house, but you may need a 6-foot ladder if you want to reach the 2nd story. I originally thought about making this extendable, but if you go any longer than this, it becomes difficult to hold and to control what's going on at the grabber end. I think our 5.5 feet is about the perfect length. It's not super long, but then again, you do have some decent reach. But enough talk, now let's see it in action. And there you have it, how to build a Christmas-like grabbing stick. But hey, thank you so much for you guys watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And Lord willing, I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe.